Nice to be back home at Busch Stadium, and we're expecting close to 40,000 tonight. The Arizona Diamondbacks have made their way to town, and they've got some thumpers in the middle of their lineup. Mark Reynolds, along with Justin Upton. A lot of home runs, lots of strikeouts with those two. Beautiful night for baseball here in St. Louis. The struggling Diamondbacks visit the Gateway City for the first time this year. With Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin, and welcome to Cardinals baseball. Great pitching matchup here tonight. You've got the ace of the Cardinals and Chris Carpenter, also the ace of the Arizona Diamondbacks and Danny Herron, the former Cardinal. Al, we're looking forward to this one.
And rightfully so. Danny Herron has never lost to the Cardinals. The same could be said about Carpenter. He's never lost to Arizona. He's pitched twice against Arizona this year, a couple no decisions. Danny has already defeated the Cardinals.
Amazingly, in his career, Chris Carpenter with only 3 losses against the National League West. So it's Danny Herron against Chris Carpenter, a pair of right-handers here tonight. Arizona in town, the first of 3, and the first of a 7-game homestand. More from Busch Stadium coming up. Former Cardinal. Well, this Friday is a special night here on Fox Sports Midwest. We will recognize American troops overseas with a special Cardinals telecast. We will link up with several Missouri National Guard units in Afghanistan. By the way, if you're coming to the game, please bring signs to help us send a message of appreciation for their service. It's called This One's For You. It's this Friday on Fox Sports Midwest. When we come back, we'll take a look at the recent road trip. Went through Toronto and finished up yesterday in KC. We'll recap it when we come back. Toronto. Up the middle, base hit. Pujols in. Here comes Ludwig, and a big 2-out base hit by David Freese. All the scoring in this inning here in the 5th, done with 2 outs. And Colby lifts it in the air to right field. Will it carry? Goodbye. Off the bench, pinch hit, home run. Colby Rasmus, a 2-run shot.
Carpenter needs to throw up some zeros too.
And there's another strikeout. That's 6 on the night for Carpenter.
And it all boils down to this pitch.
On 3-2, base hit in the left. Holiday comes through. Randy Wynn scores the first run in this game. 2-out RBI base hit by Matt Holiday. 1-0 St. Louis. Wells, left field line, and gone. 2-run homer, Vernon Wells. Another hanging breaking ball, hit out to deep left. Vernon Wells, his second home run tonight.
Adam just really having a problem hang and break a ball, and these hitters are not going to miss it, especially when they hit it down the line, the shortest part of the field.
Grounded to short. Flip to second. The Cardinals lead 2 more in the 8th. And Zach gets past Pujols. He has thrown 8 scoreless innings. And into right field. David DeJesus is there, and the Royals take game 1.
Colby hits it a ton out to deep right. 3-0 Cardinals. Into the bullpen it goes. On one swing of the bat, a 3-0 lead. Skip, right field. The second home run for the Cardinals today. A 2-run homer. And it's a 5-0 lead. He crushed it.
Fly ball into right. Schumacher watching, and it is gone. Into center field, Rasmus on the run, and it gets by him. Colby misjudged that ball. 2 runs are going to score.
So the Cardinals would go 3-3 on the most recent road trip. A 7-game homestand begins tonight. Back with more in a moment. Cardinal Danny Herron gets the call against his former team, and we've seen that he can be one of the toughest pitchers in the game. Chris Carpenter has been dominant once again this season as he looks to record his 10th win of the year. Another big crowd is expected this evening as fans have taken advantage of the half-price night. From the National League West, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks to take on the NL Central St. Louis Cardinals. Baseball, Game 1, next from Busch Stadium on Fox Sports Midwest. With full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. By Chevy's expert auto service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by Casino Queen Hotel and Casino, home of the loosest slots. Turned out to be a gorgeous day for baseball as we get you set, the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals. And a look at the lineup for the D-backs. Kelly Johnson has had a fantastic start to his year. Then Stephen Drew and Justin Upton. Montero, Young, LaRoche, Reynolds, Parra, and Danny Herron. And Chris Carpenter gets the start for the Redbirds, a record of 9-1. Opponents only hitting .231 against him. He's our Marshall Wireless Sprint starter.
8th in the National League in ERA, 2nd in winning percentage, 4th in innings pitched, .231 night ERA, that's 7th best in the National League. All he does wearing the Cardinal uniform is win. The best winning percentage in Cardinal history.
How about Kelly Johnson and his start to the 2010 campaign? 13 home runs for their second baseman. He's driven in 35 and hitting .262.
Danny slowed down a little bit as he had those 13 home runs when we saw them a couple weeks ago. But still a remarkable season for him. And this ball club does not play well on the road.
This is a team that has really struggled in all facets. They are 30-46, 15.5 games out already.
And they're .500 at home. They endured a 14-game losing streak earlier this season on the road.
There's a ground ball that is foul. They are 12-28 on the road. 84 degrees our game time temperature.
Carpenter has faced the Diamondbacks twice this season. Both times getting a no decision, but pitching well.
You mentioned that Carpenter has lost just 3 times in his career against the National League West. He's 18-3. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Johnson. Inside 2-2.
And Dan, with this inconsistent offense, it's imperative for the Cardinals to win whenever Carpenter and Wainwright take the mound. They've got the first 2 games of this series.
And the count runs full. Carpenter working from the first base side of the rubber. There's a look at Adam Wainwright. Kyle Loesch behind him.
A little hiccup by Jaime Garcia yesterday.
Off of Carpenter, he can't find it. Hustles to it, to Pujols, and safe.
I'm not sure, but we'll wait and see where that got Carpenter. As no one is outside the dugout. Do you think that got him flush?
Absolutely. And Barry Weinberg is at the top step there, the Cardinal trainer.
I mean, that's, to me, you go out no matter what. I thought it might have got his pitching arm. I thought he got right underneath the glove and got him on the pitching arm. But really, nobody's paying attention other than Molina out to talk to him. But watch right here with this good look for the right elbow or upper arm. Yeah, right below the elbow. That's on the pitching arm, and that was a line drive. I don't care if he asked for help or not. Normally, you go out there and say, let's take a look at it.
It's off his forearm.
Right below the elbow on that meaty section, and that's probably why no one's too concerned.
You get concerned, though, if you have any kind of tightness in that forearm.
Well, you get concerned if that tightens up, as you said, especially what's happened the last whole series.
Well, you can see it even right now.
Swell up already. Now, that is a meaty portion. There is that forearm muscle right there, but even just getting a little ethyl chloride, double play ball.
4, 6, 3, double play. So Johnson's base hit erased off the bat of Tony Abreu, the switch hitter, a double play. The Dobbs defense, Holiday, Rasmussen, Wynn. Then Lopez, Ryan, Schumacher, and Pujols along the infield, and the battery tonight, Carpenter and Molina. Another look at that arm of Chris Carpenter and the welt, the forearm.
Discoloration right there is starting to swell up.
There's Justin Upton, hitting .271 with 14 home runs, and he's driven in 39.
And you go back, the last 4 games have not been a deep start yet. I guess Suppan had the longest one. Well, he and Hawksworth, who was brilliant on Saturday.
Hawksworth will get another start. That'll be Thursday against the Milwaukee Brewers.
It's a 4-game series starting Thursday against Milwaukee.
Got a half-price night going tonight, and half-price night starts that 4-game series Thursday.
I think people are listening to you, Dan. Look at this crowd.
Good crowd, and giveaways all weekend. This weekend here at Busch Stadium.
That's what the Cardinals need. Get some home cooking, get back here and catch a little break with the weather.
Feels great, doesn't it?
A new 85 degrees.
Felt so cool.
So good. Cool, right?
There's a swing and a miss. Strikeout for Carpenter. His first of the night. Cardinals coming up in their half of the first. And there is no score. Tony La Russa returns to the Gateway City tonight. Let's look at his lineup presented by Sprint. Schumacher, Lopez, Pujols, then Holiday, Rasmus, Molina, Brendan Ryan, Chris Carpenter, and Randy Wynn. A workhorse ever since he left St. Louis. That's Dan Herron, 7-6. But opponents are hitting .280 this year against him. It has been unlike Danny Herron that we've seen in the past.
More hits than innings pitched. Still a strikeout per inning.
And there's a base hit opposite way for Skip Schumacher. Average has been on the rise now. Last few weeks up to .260 with that base hit. Parra, Young, and Upton in the outfield. Reynolds, Abreu, Johnson, LaRoche are on the infield. And it's Danny Herron and Miguel Montero. Well, an interesting question would be, would you sacrifice here in the first inning with these two workhorses on the mound? And one run just might be enough.
And I wouldn't do it. That's what I do.
Schumacher is running, and it's hit into right. Drops in for a base hit. Back-to-back singles, first and third, and in steps Pujols.
It's a lot better, right?
I'll take that.
Sure. Running on the pitch. Schumacher really hit 385 on the road trip. Adds to it with a single, and then goes from first to third on the run and hit. So a good start here. Cardinals need to break on top. Really, when you got a club like Arizona, and they're a team that they're young, they're very talented, playing beneath their ability. But if you jump ahead of them, they have a tendency to just kind of say, oh, well, we'll wait till tomorrow. Now, they should feel good about having Danny Herron on the mound. He's 2-0 against his former team and 4-0 lifetime. But still, that mindset, if you can jump out on top early, then they'll quit.
Pujols is closing in on 400 home runs. He's at 382 in his career. This season, with runners on, he has been outstanding. 342 with 7 home runs and an on-base percentage of .500. Aaron, of course, has always had that very good fastball and splitter. But everything is set up with the fastball, and some believe that his velocity is down a little bit this year.
A little bit, and some people think early in the season he fell in love with his cutter. And, you know, a combination is first to third, or third to first, but a combination, what they saw earlier in the year from him was a lot of sliders and a lot of cutters and a lot of split fingers. Try and get those pitches up.
In the dirt, gets away from Montero, 1-0 Cardinals. Schumacher scores the first run of the night. Wild pitch by Herron, 1-0 Cardinals.
Montero is a very good offensive player. You see, and you really appreciate the Cardinal catcher's ability to block balls as he just kind of spears at it, came up high, just kind of backhand, just tries to snare it, and it gets by him. When a runner at third, you'd like a little better effort. He's known for his offense.
3-0 on Pujols. Albert rips it down the left field line, fair into the corner. 2-0 Cardinals. Lopez scores. On 3-0, Pujols swinging away. 2-run lead for St. Louis here in the first.
It's good to see Albert not just taking things for granted that they fall behind and just going to walk him. But he got a pitch up over the middle part of the plate, and he just hammers it down into the left field corner. So, first run scores on a wild pitch. Now, legitimately, Albert knocks in the run. That's his 52nd RBI. And Montero out to talk to Danny Herron, as he's given up more hits this year, but he's the guy in a pitcher that once he gets into a groove, settles down, he can shut you down.
So a 2-run lead for Carpenter. Al and I both were talking about, before we went on the air, the show that Matt Holliday put on in batting practice before the game. He hit one completely out of the stadium. He hit 2 into the upper deck. I mean, he was absolutely crushing the baseball.
I was doing some paperwork, and all of a sudden I heard a loud crash. That's what got my first attention, and I looked down, and he was in the cage, and that was one that you were talking about. Almost going to knock a sign off its hinges.
Pulls it foul, 0-2. You take it for what it's worth, but it still is fun watching some of these guys go in for batting practice. Mark McGwire, when he was playing, certainly. Pujols, Holiday.
And we were recently remarking one day he couldn't get a ball out of the cage, and I know he hit a home run in that game. So
0-2, he got him out in front. Popped up. Who wants it? First baseman LaRoche takes charge and makes the play. And it brings in Colby Rasmus. What a month he has had. He's got 16 home runs now and 40 RBIs. His average at 288.
He had 16 home runs last season in his rookie year. Now, the only thing you get a little concerned about, he's hit 9 home runs this month, is young hitters, many times they fall in love with that home run and they start pulling the ball, and then they're susceptible to a whole variety of pitches out of that swing zone.
Fooled by that pitch, strike one.
Probably was the splitter. You see Danny will hold that grip. It's the most extreme grip, so he'll hold that grip, and then when he looks in for his sign, and if it's that pitch, he's already set for it. If it's anything else, a little slight rotate of the fingers, he can change to it.
Danny Herron was a second-round selection by the Cardinals in 2001 out of Pepperdine, and he was also a very fine offensive player in college, and that has carried over to the major leagues.
I think he's got another 6-game hitting streak, second one this year.
0-2 pitch. But you always look for guys to give you innings, and he has done that for both the A's and now the Diamondbacks. You go back to 2005, he had 34 starts. He tied for their team lead in wins. 06, he led the American League in games started. Second in innings pitched. 2007, tied for the American League lead in games started. He's third in ERA. 2008 was one of his better seasons, over 200 strikeouts, 16 wins, and then last year 14-10, 33 starts, 229 innings.
This here is his 17th start, so really double that. Usually make 33, 34 starts, be over 200 innings and 200 strikeouts.
Hey, our pregame producer, Brad Strabinger, has a new blog at FoxSportsMidwest.com. He and Pat Harris have a blog as well. You need to start blogging. We'll get you on there. You can read it all at FoxSportsMidwest.com. Brad Strabinger and Pat Harris, FoxSportsMidwest.com. Also on there is our beat writer, BJ Rains, and BJ has a story up right now concerning Albert Pujols. And apparently Albert will not take part in the home run derby. So you can read all about that at FoxSportsMidwest.com. 2-run lead for Carpenter after an inning of play. Over the weekend against Kansas City, against American League teams. Attendance up nearly 18%. AL posted a 134-118 record. That's the 7th straight season they beat the National League in the record department. The White Sox, one of the hottest teams in baseball. And the White Sox beat up on the Chicago Cubs. The interleague play is through.
They have part of their 11-game winning streak was most of that during interleague play.
The worst ERA, A.J. Burnett. His was over 16. Hottest hitter was Josh Hamilton at 472. And then you have the brothers.
Going in different directions.
Yeah, B.J. Upton hit 136 for Tampa Bay. Justin Upton, 446, and that led all the National Leaguers. Well, his brother B.J. Upton, of course, was in the news yesterday. Tampa Bay against these Diamondbacks for not hustling after a ball in center field. And Evan Longoria, their third baseman, in many ways now their team leader, in the dugout, caught by the cameras. Those two got into a shoving match, had to be separated, and then both said afterwards it was a dead issue once they talked it over.
Family affair.
Right.
But you know what? That's good to see a young player take that attitude.
Base hit past Schumacher and into right center.
Montero's really swung the bat well once he recovered from his knee surgery.
Now the reality is too is that the cameras are always on you. That stuff happens all the time behind closed doors. It's a long major league season.
Yeah, in really fairness, it's things like that happen on a real frequent basis, but no one knew about it. Games were not not televised at the same level as today, or the fact that you got so many more cameras, they're so intrusive that really you've got to be you got to anticipate every movement is being watched. It probably is.
And that was easy. I mean, that was in front of everybody in their dugout. Cameras caught it. Same with Zambrano the other day.
But when you want to make a point like that, and as an athlete, you're very emotional, and it's hard to think about stop and let's go down in the tunnel. Kind of loses the effect also.
Spur of the moment.
Spur of the moment.
1 ball, 1 strike on Chris Young, who is 6 for 10 in his career against Carpenter.
Hard to explain too, isn't it?
Here's a guy with 13 home runs on the year, 50 RBIs, and hitting .265.
313 at home and 221 on the road. You could find a lot of splits like that with the Arizona team.
Now, this is also a franchise that just a couple of years ago was only a few wins away from heading to the World Series with many of these same young players.
Joe Madden over the weekend pulled aside one of the Arizona broadcasters and really said
Schumacher will get the lead runner, no play at first.
That this team is so good, on paper, that it should be maybe 2 or 3 games under 500. They're all playing below their ability.
For those who missed it, this is it. This is the play we're talking about. Upton, the center fielder, later said he thought that the left fielder was going to come over and get it. Clearly that wasn't the case.
No, you're absolutely right. Center fielder should always take charge, and I don't care what Longoria said to you, you can't act like that when you know at that point everybody's watching now.
Adam LaRoche, 11 home runs, 51 driven in, and pops it up into left. Matt Holliday makes the catch. 2 down. Brings in Mark Reynolds. All or nothing with Mark Reynolds. He's hitting just .209, but he does have 17 home runs, and he's driven in 48.
Last 2 years, set the strikeout record per season. Then he proceeded to break his own record. Over 400 strikeouts the last 2 years.
The stadium really filling up. Sea of red here today as Cardinals are back in town. Good seats remaining tomorrow and again on Wednesday. Wednesday is a day game. One of those rare day games here in the middle of the summer.
Getaway day for Arizona, and I think that the Cardinal fans always respond, come out.
Here comes a 1-0 pitch by Carpenter. Taken for a strike.
And 2008, Mark Reynolds struck out 204 times. Last season, 223 times.
Remember when he was with Milwaukee, Jose Hernandez was approaching that record and sat out at the very end of the season. Didn't want to have that dubious distinction.
Break that record, then Dunn broke it. But he holds the record now. He's got speed, so I mean, just putting the ball in play. He stole 24 bases last year, so just if he cut that strikeouts to in half, what do you think his batting average would be?
Sure. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Fourth fastball in a row to Mark Reynolds as Carpenter looks back into the home plate umpire, and it's 3-1. Cincinnati is playing Philly tonight, and it's 2-0. Reds on top in the bottom of the 6th.
Didn't want the curveball, didn't want the cutter, fastball away.
And it's a walk, so 2 runners on with 2 outs, and Carpenter questioning the strike zone. Look at our text poll. What National League West team are you excited to see pitch, or at least the individual?
3 pretty good pitchers right there, and then you got San Diego with some good pitchers too. But these guys, you know their names.
Lincecum, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. He has been knocked around a little bit. Made it just 3 1/3 over the weekend, and Ubaldo Jimenez has just been unbelievable. 2 outs and 2 on. Curveball in the dirt. This is Parra, the 8th place hitter, who's hitting .257, 2 home runs, and he's driven in 14. Known for his defense. Another one of their young players that they really like. Curveball and a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Got a couple of the nicest ladies right here, mother and daughter, and Mary Jane Diamond is 91 years young today. They sit in those seats every day. They go to spring training. Big Cardinal fans. So happy birthday, Mrs. Diamond.
Does not matter how hot it is.
No, it doesn't.
3-1.
You wonder that arm. I mean, it's early, but Carpenter falling behind here. He walked Reynolds. Just not like him. You wonder if that arm's tightening up a little bit.
Pitched in the 2nd game of the Toronto series last week. Walked off the mound after the 8th. The score was tied 0-0. And that's a ball. You're thinking at that time, no decision. And then his teammates rallied and earned him his 9th win of the year. Well, we talked about it earlier. Danny Herron can flat out hit. He was a DH at Pepperdine. He showed it a little bit here with St. Louis.
Well, look at his average. It's .452. He is 19 for 42 with 6 RBIs. He can definitely help his own cause. Remember earlier against St. Louis, he had 4 hits in a game.
You gave those numbers. They don't even compare to the next closest pitcher. Herron, 6 doubles, 6 RBIs. Mike Leake is 10 for 26, no RBIs. Chris Narveson, 7 for 19. Randy Wolf, 11 for 35.
And he falls behind again.
1-0 pitch. This is back on April 20th against the Cardinals. And Kyle Loesch on the mound. Hit after hit for Danny Herron. He had 4 of them that night.
And so he is legit. There's number 3. And if you don't believe us, there's 4. So be careful.
And that was a night when the Cardinals had him on the ropes, too, early on.
Yes, they did. And Cardinals, you would have thought they would have liked to have scored more than their 2 as the first 3 men reached on base hits, and then he shut them down. So that may be the only shot.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout of Herron. Diamondbacks strand the bases loaded. Ryan, Carpenter, and Wynn coming up. Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo served with curly fries and a drink for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. The bottom of the second rolls in with the Cardinals leading 2-0 against Danny Herron. Foul pitch allowing Schumacher to score the first run, and then Pujols an RBI double, his 52nd on the year.
Good pitching matchup with Herron and Carpenter here. Washington has Strasburg against Hudson against Atlanta. They're scoreless. 0-0 in the 5th. Alder Jimenez is going against Kevin Correa. Zito, Cueto.
Ground ball to short. Abreu up with it. And Brendan Ryan is the first out. Mentioned that Pujols now with 52 driven in. He trails Ryan Howard, Troy Gloss, Corey Hart, and the league leader David Wright at 61. As Carpenter having words with our home plate umpire about the strike zone. And you are entitled to do that.
Well, if you do it in a proper fashion. I thought, after the one walk to Reynolds, he kind of questioned the strike zone. It couldn't have been on the pitch that walked him, because that definitely was a ball, but they're still having their conversation. Danny goes, well, wait a minute. All you do is throw a pitch. You stand in the batter's box. Look at that welt.
It was the first batter of the game that hit a comebacker that went off the arm of Carpenter, and you see it there.
I don't see Bud Selig's signature, though. Sometimes you'll see one that hits you so squarely that you'll see the indentation of the seams.
Stitching. Nothing into the count with 1 out, nobody on. And a swing and a miss by Carpenter, and Herron picks up his 3rd strikeout. And here it is again, the Expo Cam presented by Mercedes-Benz off the right forearm of Carpenter. And he did an outstanding job even to make that play close at first.
It was very close as he scrambled after it. A little underhand pass to Albert, and our leadoff man, Kelly Johnson, got the infield single and then was erased into double play ball.
Switch hitter Randy Wynn batting .300 with the Cardinals and 2 RBIs. Knock on him was, hitting against right-handed pitching, and that has not been a problem here in St. Louis. He's fit in quite nicely and seen a lot of playing time since he was picked up from the Yankees.
He's hit .300 with the Cardinals with 5 doubles. .300 on the road trip, but 1 for 9 in the Kansas City series.
And Wynn hits a fly ball to right field, and the Cardinals go in order. Jim Hayes will get you caught up on the news of the day when we come back. It's 2-0. It being a World Series year, and without that great start, Cardinals would not have made it into postseason play. They rode Pujols those first 2 months and his great start to a bunch of wins, and turned out to be a magical year in postseason play. There's a look at Albert, who has an RBI tonight. Jim Hayes has joined us. Let's get some news out of the way. First and foremost, some good news with Brad Penny, we hope.
Brad Penny threw off the mound for a 2nd time today.
That's out to right and caught.
Penny threw 60 pitches, according to Dave Duncan. 15 were warm-ups, 45 were with more real-type velocity. And as we see Penny doing that today, Dave Duncan said the best news about it was that Penny felt good. Felt real good and very encouraged by the outing. So the next step for Brad Penny, another session where he'll do similar type things, about the same pitch count off the mound on Thursday.
Be interesting to see how the Cardinals will handle his return to this rotation, Al. I mean, we've seen where some guys will not go on a rehab assignment. I wouldn't assume that would be the case here with Penny, or is it a situation where you're forced to say, hey, let's do it up here?
I think it's in fairness to him, he should go at least 1. And when they were talking about the possibility of not having any, that was coming back in 3 weeks.
There's a liner out to left, and Holiday late break, but makes the catch.
Nice play right there. Is fooled a little bit. That ball might have been knuckling on him, but it's sinking quickly, and he comes up with the play. So that's all you appreciate. Comes over here, and then watch how this ball just all of a sudden sinks, and he makes the play.
And that'll bring in Justin Upton with 2 outs, and clearly you see it's a catch.
And Dan, you know, if he was coming back in 3 weeks with initially,
and that's why I bring it up.
Maybe you can get by with it. But, you know, in fairness to him now, it's been a long time. Big difference turning on those competitive juices.
2 outs, and Upton is hit by a breaking ball. I want to remind folks that we have our career fair coming up at Busch Stadium Wednesday, June 30th. And one great price gets you admission to the fair and a ticket to the Cardinals and Diamondbacks. That's this Wednesday night. 345-9500 to find out more, or visit cardinals.com/careerfair. So with 2 outs, Upton at first, and here's Montero, who singled his first time up. Jim, you reported over the weekend in talking with Cal Loesch over the phone that he was doing some exercises and working out his forearm. Wasn't like he was throwing a baseball, but what happened with him today?
Started his throwing program, which is a major step forward for Kyle. He threw, he said, about 60 balls, throws, not pitches, not off the mound or anything like that. He said 20 were against the wall, 40 were 60 to 90 feet away, just getting the arm motion. And he said the best thing about the day for him is he wasn't conscious of his forearm. He said there was a time where he'd look at that giant scar running down his forearm and thought to himself, how am I going to get past this? But today, didn't think about the forearm, and that's good news in his comeback and for the Cardinals.
No doubt about it. If you can go to that flat ground and you're not thinking about it, you're well on your way to recovery. Then as Penny throwing 45 pitches from the mound, that's a high number the first time out. So that's an indication that. And
well, Dave said it was his second time from him.
Well, but okay, but either way, and then when I'm seeing you see the scar, barely you can see the scar. Now he is conscious of it, but
he's very proud of it, to be honest with you.
He should be. He earned it.
He shows everyone.
Most of my scars I can't show.
Let's not go there.
Rather not think about it.
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike on Montero. That'd be great news, though, to get him back, and then this team takes on a completely different look. Both those guys.
The best thing about it, too, is then.
Liner and a base hit over Schumacher. Upton, who can fly, easily trotting into third base.
Then if your guy needs a day off or you want to give him an extra day's rest, then it's a lot easier to do. But when you're in a 4-man rotation, you mentioned that Hawksworth really saved you by Saturday, but and he'll get another start on Thursday. Watch Upton with that great speed, the inside part of the bag, and then your next stride comes all the way around on a much tighter turn.
Here's Chris Young.
2 outs here, so hopefully Carpenter can retire them like he did last inning.
And the first pitch is taken in the dirt.
Hawksworth wasn't positive he'd be starting Thursday. Tony had spoken to him, but when he asked when the starters were taking BP, and he said, "Do I hit with these guys?" He got a yes, so he knew for certain there.
Why can't we just be here? You're in the start for next Thursday.
There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Al, he's an ink for Thursday now. Not
pencil. At least we graduated to ink.
Boy, he really was good Saturday.
Oh, boy. 5 innings on Saturday, and the Cardinals jumped out to that 5-0 lead.
Tony didn't say it was disappearing.
Check swing, strike. Remember, this is a guy that has given Carpenter in his career fits. Coming in now 6 for 11 into this at bat. Grounded into a fielder's choice back in the second. Upton was hit by a pitch. Montero 2 for 2, stands at first. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Young. Breaking ball and struck him out. 3 on the night for Carpenter. Midway through 3. Cardinals on top. Who's enjoying the game? Budweiser, it's what we do. Budweiser thirst inning. And now our trivia question presented by AT&T. Since 2006, who is the MLB leader in strikeouts?
I got to guess. We're looking at, well, not quite.
Aaron 908, CC Sabathia 10 ahead of him. And he'll deal with the top of the lineup. Skip Schumacher, Felipe Lopez, and Albert Pujols. Missing from this lineup tonight, Ryan Ludwig. And Skip, it's a high fly ball out to right. Let us stay in the ballpark. Upton makes the catch.
Ever since he was a DH, he's been flexing the power muscles, Dan.
Time is running out to vote for your 2010 All-Star selections. You can help send your favorite Cardinals to the All-Star game. Vote up to 25 times at Cardinals.com. It will end Thursday, July 1st at 11:59 Eastern. Cast your ballot today at Cardinals.com. There's a look at Ludwig not in the lineup again, and David Freese also not in the lineup as Lopez lines out to left.
David Freese has a sore right ankle. Larkin, as Tony La Russa puts it, Freese told me could be a game or two before he's back in there. Tony saying Freese not available, and Ryan Ludwig has had this ongoing thing with his left calf. It started as a cramp. He did play, and it apparently inflamed it a little bit more, so he is not in there tonight battling the sore left calf. He said it was still bothering him tonight.
Here's Pujols, who has an RBI and a base hit. You just hope that Freese ankle isn't something that lingers throughout the season.
Now, that is his surgically repaired ankle from a year ago, right?
1-0 pitch.
Yeah, it's obviously an area of concern, so
sure
they're going to be very careful with it.
Pujols, his RBI double gave him 52 ribbies this year. The 2-0 pitch. And he was swinging away on 3-0 in that first at bat. It's quite a flight home for the Cardinals last night from Kansas City.
Well, they arrived over St. Louis right as the thunderstorms rolled in and circled, waiting for the weather for about 30 minutes. And when they did descend, they dropped like a rock twice, where players said they actually came out of their seats momentarily from the drop. But they said everyone remained calm. A couple of the players said they got their cues by watching the flight crew. If the flight attendants looked like everything was okay, they figured everything was okay, and there was no panic to be seen.
2-2 is hit out to right center and caught on a hard line drive. We're through 3, and it's 2-0 St. Louis. Fourth inning rolls in and a 2-0 St. Louis lead, and a strike to LaRoche. Historically has been a very slow starter. Good defensive player, 11 home runs and 51 driven in, and Pujols snares that line drive. Build-A-Bear Workshop Day right here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals will play the Pirates Sunday, August 1st. Fans ages 12 and under receive a Build-A-Bear outfitted in a 1985 Cardinals replica jersey. And again, that is August 1st. There's a look at the jersey and the bear. Sunday, August 1st, Pittsburgh in town, 1:15 with our first pitch. Popped up, a mile high, playable. Molina makes the catch, 2 away. It's part of that 1985 celebration weekend. On Friday night, Vince Coleman bobblehead. Saturday, the Whitey bobblehead. Then Sunday, the Build-A-Bear. And tickets are going really fast for those giveaways.
I'm surprised there's still some available. I'm sure once you mention that again, they'll be gone. So get them right now.
Here's Parra, who walked his first time up.
Parra, I guess, the beneficiary of the Connor Jackson trade. Played the game-winning run via his second home run yesterday. He's 1 for 10 in his last 3 games.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Since June the 4th, he's batting .300.
Carpenter a chance at a very quick inning in the last 2 innings. He's gotten the first 2. And then those innings have been extended.
Danny Herron on the other side has now settled down after the first 3 batters reached on base hit. He's retired 9 in a row.
2-1 pitch. Little ground ball, slowly hit. Carpenter will take it himself. Holiday leads it off when we return. Sports Midwest, it's our Budweiser What's on Tap. We'll have Dontrell Willis and Adam Wainwright. Willis is 1-0. Wainwright trying to pick up win number 11. Didn't work out for Dontrell in Detroit, so now he's with the Diamondbacks, and it's worked out quite well for Adam Wainwright here in St. Louis.
One of the elite pitchers, among the league leaders in those wins. And then Dontrell, when he first came up, was an infectious smile and just not Fernando Mania by any means, but still he had a following and earned that. But then found hard times where he had trouble throwing strikes. Good to see him back smiling.
Matt Holliday here, and he rips it to third. Nice play by Reynolds. It's one thing Reynolds can do. You know, we talk so much about his strikeouts. In the games that we've seen, you know, defensively, he's played very well.
Like they set up outside a little bit, and then in the middle of the plate, Holliday hits it hard at a ground ball, and Reynolds gobbled it up as he gobbles down some seeds.
That's Matt Holliday-esque with the seeds. Here's Colby Rasmus with one out, nobody on.
He's getting a little salt.
Colby struck out his first time up. 16 home runs, 40 driven in.
But Dan, you know what I mean about a young player you worry about when he gets a bunch of home runs, that he doesn't start just trying to hit home runs, pulling off of pitches, instead of trying to take balls up the middle, and if they're inside, you turn on them. You start trying to hit home runs, and usually when you do that, you'll get a couple, but you're not going to be as efficient or as good a hitter. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's his cutter.
They've really gone inside with that cutter in on Colby Rasmus. And that's the pitch that he struck out on earlier.
And a lot of times if the right-hander's throwing a cutter or slider to a left-handed hitter, instead of down and in, you want to elevate the ball and get it above his hands.
2-2. Taken high at 92 miles an hour from Danny Aaron. So the count is full with 1 out, nobody on as we play here in the Cardinals half of the 4th.
Curveball.
And pulled foul. You see the splitter, the cutter, curveball.
Usually you're going to see an off-speed pitch, or you didn't want the fastball in there. It's going to be back to the curveball, back to the cutter.
In on the hands again.
See, it's not a real big break. A good cutter is only going to break a couple inches. A lot of people see the big sweeping, that's more of a slurve. But a cutter is an old-fashioned slider which only breaks a couple inches. Fastball away.
3-2. Pitch that was up. Foul back.
You know, Danny Aaron, I think one of the reasons why he is effective is he has a deceptive motion. You know, he's got really good stuff, but then he comes to that little pause back to a curveball.
Got him.
And just that little deception move messes up the timing, especially a guy who lifts that front leg.
This was the 14th pitch that Colby had seen tonight.
See how he comes to a kind of a pause at the top with that leg held up. Now, some people may think, well, you lose a lot of your momentum going towards the plate, but because of his strong legs, he can regenerate it. But a hitter trying to get the timing, and he has to reset.
Yachty into right center. Boy, he needed that. That's the Cardinals' first base hit since back in the 2nd inning, and the double by Pujols. The first 3 against Danny Aaron reached tonight, and then after that, he was mowing them down.
Molina really struggling as he was 0 for 19, hit a home run in Toronto. That was the only hit he had on the road trip, 1 for 14. And now he breaks an 0 for 13 streak with that base hit.
It snaps 11 straight. Set down by Danny Aaron. Here's Brendan Ryan. First pitch, line drive, base hit.
Brendan needed that also.
Molina on his way to third. Strong throw coming in from Parra into the bag at second. And it's first and third with 2 outs and a chance for Carpenter. Fox Tracks presented by Dodge.
Brendan was 0 for 18. He got mislocation, wanted that ball away, stayed right on the inner part of the plate. You don't have the movement. And Brendan Ryan picks up his first hit in a while.
Carpenter struck out his first time up. Danny Herron tonight has now allowed 5 base hits, hasn't walked a man, and he has struck out 3.
Not quite the, I mean, Carpenter's got a bat in his hands and he can be dangerous, but not quite the same hitter that Carpenter is facing when Danny's on the at plate.
Strike one. Reds have opened up a 6-1 lead as they go to the top of the 8th over the Phillies.
Right stance, his foot way up in front of the plate.
Normally you see guys in the back.
Sometimes say, okay, I want to hit that ball after it breaks, so I'll get in the back of the plate. Others say I want to hit it before it breaks. They get in the front of the plate. But usually you would think a pitcher would go all the way back. Ball also gets on you a little quicker.
One ball and 2 strikes.
The first run of this game by the Cardinals was scored on a wild pitch. So you have to be cognizant of that.
Just got a piece. Stays alive.
Breaking ball there. Danny leaving it inside, and Montero wants to talk to him a little bit. So Brendan Ryan missed location on an off-speed pitch. There he misses location. Just making it a little bit easier for the hitters. Carpenter, is that laughing because he made contact?
I think so.
I wonder if somebody on the bench, maybe there's the pitchers have a hitting, usually have a hitting contest, and they might have said, oh, you won't even make contact off of Danny Herron's off-speed pitch.
1-2 pitch. Carpenter puts it in play to second. Cardinals will strand 2, and we played 4 here at Busch Stadium. Redbirds on top, 2-0. One time the richest lead was located in Montero. Means good earth. If you'd like to find out more about it, all you have to do is go to visitmo.com. Take that tour.
That's pretty interesting. It looked like that's one of those deep water mines where a lot of people go get scuba certified.
It's a pretty neat place.
That looked like a little boat ride too through the mud.
Well, we've got a blast from the past, and you don't want to miss this. It'll be this Friday, July 2nd. Fans 16 and older will get the Brock Umbrella. Red has one. Lou's got it. It's the Brock Umbrella this Friday at Busch Stadium. Get your tickets at Cardinals.com. This weekend against Milwaukee, beginning on Thursday night. That is another half-price night, so a chance to take your family to the ballpark for $33. Kids tickets are all season long are just at $7. That's on Thursday, the half-price night. Brockabrella on Friday. And then on Saturday, the Budweiser Cooley Cup. Sunday is a family Sunday. Herron with 19 hits this year. Shoots it into right. Wynn better hurry up, and he makes the catch. Almost got over his head.
Randy Wynn is playing in his 250th game without an error. And his last error came back in 2008. That ball took off on him, and very cool and casual reaches up at last second and snares that line drive that carried a lot further than what he initially thought. Yeah, 20 hit seasons are pretty rare. I know the Cardinals have a few. You would know both of, well, two of them.
I would say most recently has to be Marquis.
Yes.
Bob Gibson would be in there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and then one in between.
Here's a ground ball that's hit to second. What about Bob Porsche?
Absolutely. He did it a couple times.
Again, this weekend, the Cooley Cup in the heat of summer. Cooley Cup fits pint glasses, stadium cups, ice cold Budweiser. That's this Saturday, Cardinals and Brewers, the Cooley Cup, courtesy of Budweiser. For tickets, visit Cardinals.com. Here's Abreu, the shortstop, switch hitter. Carpenter trying to make quick work of the D-backs here in the fifth.
Bob Gibson had a 20 or more hit season 5 times. Bob Porsche twice. Darren Oliver once. And Marquis twice.
So 2 outs and nobody on. 2-0 pitch. Right down the middle. They're the 7th. It's the Braves and Nationals, and Steven Strasburg making that start. Braves have just picked up a run against them.
Sack fly. Hudson playing just as well. Chipper Jones scored, and hopefully he'll stop talking about retirement.
3-1. Carpenter has hit a man tonight, and he has walked 2. There was back-to-back walks in the second inning.
Fastball.
In the air out to center. Colby back makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning for Chris Carpenter. Randy Wynn leads it off, and we come back. Then we'll see Skip Schumacher and Felipe Lopez. 2-0 St. Louis. 2 a.m. or later by Lumiere Casino. Every time the Cards win, the next day get a free buffet with a purchase of one at the kitchen at Lumiere Place. Visit My Choice for details. And by AT&T Uverse, a better TV experience. Visit att.com for details. Randy Wen here in the Cardinals half of the fifth. 2-0. First pitch is fouled. Steven Strasburg out of the ball game against the Braves as the Nationals trail now 2-0. Randy Wen lined out to right his first time up. I'd like to wish a happy 90th birthday to Marie McCamish, big Cardinals fan and lives in Swansea, Illinois. Thanks for Marie for being part of Cardinals Nation. Happy 90th. To Marie.
I don't know how old David Klingman is of Sparta, Illinois, but sent a nice note to it's his birthday, and his big wish was he wanted us to sing happy birthday. Now, David, I tried to get the cat and Dan to sing to you.
Slowly hit left side. Reynolds gets win by step.
Because driving back from Kansas City on Saturday, I had to listen to the cat and Dan sing the whole way. I told them right away I could not sing, and I will not break all the TV
You
sets.
did at one point try to sing.
No.
It was embarrassing.
I think I was imitating you.
No, you were intimidated.
Yeah, well, I told you I couldn't sing, but I got news for both of you. You can't sing either.
Schumacher, who is singled tonight, scored the first run of the game and also flied out to right.
So happy birthday, David Klingman.
Now, Jim comes from a family of artists, and his father actually has a record out.
So that's why he thinks he can sing.
Very talented family, and that includes Jim.
No. I am not disputing that. We really like Jim, and he's got a wonderful sense of humor. I would not say his singing is one of his strongest points.
0-2 pitch in the dirt.
I'm sure he'll disagree, but that's why I wanted you two to sing, so let everybody else. It could have been our poll question, our text question today.
I don't think so, Al. I just don't.
I think we got a better one.
There's a 1-2 pitch. Schumacher grounds to second. Johnson there. We're in the middle of a pitcher's duel here. Danny Herron and Chris Carpenter tonight, game one.
That's what we were doing it last week. First pitch strikes for Danny, 14 out of 19. Of course, about the first three guys got first pitch strikes and got base hits off them.
May surprise you, but Carpenter is 9 of 20 in first pitch strikes.
Yeah, that is surprising and way below his average.
May have noticed, our viewers may have noticed the grass, that last shot going to break. Colby Rasmus making that catch to end the top of the fifth. And because of the Eagles concert, there you see it. That's where the stage was here at the ballpark. And some of that grass is beat up out there.
On the players, that's all they did was complain about it. And apparently it's been sprayed and everything else. It's a lot worse than it appears.
So Herron underhands to first, and it's 2-0 after 5. Tonight on the Toyota Cardinals Live pregame show, Tony La Russa gets Cal Eldred's help filling out his lineup card. Watch tomorrow, 6:30 on Toyota Cardinals Live. That'll be coming up tomorrow. We're a little busy up here in the booth. Chesterfield baseball team under 16 with us.
Best of the best, right?
They were down on the field, had a chance to meet some of the players and take in batting practice, and then came on up here. Here's a 1-0 pitch and a ground ball hit to short. Ryan up with it. High throw and out at first. Upton retired. He's 0 for 2. Part of the lineup here in the 6th inning for Chris Carpenter, who's thrown an even 70 pitches.
Carpenter has allowed 3 hits, but he's walked a pair and hit a man.
Miguel Montero has 2 of the 3 hits for Arizona tonight.
He's retired 8 in a row. The last hit was off the bat of Montero.
And the first pitch taken low. Carpenter can't believe that call. It's one of those cases where Molina was set up in, pitch was over the middle of the plate and didn't get the call. One ball, one strike.
Mark Carlson is our home plate umpire, but sometimes when you miss location like that, it just sells it to the umpire that it's a ball, even if it does hit the strike zone.
Foul back.
So he's set up inside there, but the ball is going to the outside part of the plate.
A few teams have already dropped 15 games out of first place before June is even over. Arizona, one of those. Baltimore, only 23 wins this year. Then Seattle and Pittsburgh. There's a high fly ball into left center. Holiday makes the catch. Cardinals campout presented by Bass Pro Shops, and Tracker Boats is back. It'll be Friday, August 27th. Come spend a night on the field and under the stars at Busch Stadium. And tickets go on sale Friday, July 2nd. If you'd like to find out more, just give us a call at 314-345-9500 or visit us online at cardinals.com/campout. So 2 outs, nobody on. And Chris Young is the hitter. Cardinals also announced today through Cardinals Care a 6K run on August 29th. Normally it's a 5K. Well, it's a 6K. And the theme is around Stan the Man. And it starts at Stan's statue outside Busch Stadium. You run through the streets of St. Louis, and you have a chance to touch home plate if you can make it through the 6K. Finishes at home plate inside Busch Stadium. That'll be August 29th. And that's all to benefit Cardinals Care, that run. First time they've ever done this, and there are limited spots for the run. If you'd like to find out more, cardinals.com/runhome. Cardinals.com/runhome. Or just give us a call and find out about the good folks at Cardinals Care.
So very efficient except for the 2nd inning is Carpenter.
And again, that date, the 6K run, August 29th.
We in town, Dan?
Not sure. I haven't.
Because I'll touch your, I'll wave high five as you touch home plate if we are.
As I get helped to the plate, hit down the left field line and pulled foul. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
Well, I understand the race ends at third base, and then you'll crawl to home plate.
Correct.
August 31st,
29th.
29th. We're in Washington. You're saved.
3-2 with 2 outs.
We've seen Strasburg, who looks like he's out of that ball game, and they're now trailing 4-0, and Atlanta's still hitting. third walk, and another time where after 2 outs, Carpenter having a little trouble getting the third out.
LaRoche is flied out to left and also lined out to first.
Three batters this inning, and Carpenter was behind every one of them after his first pitch.
Where is that pitch? Well, this strike zone is tight tonight.
We'll see. It looks like his cutter. It looks like, see Molina framing it. Looked like it was high enough.
2 outs and a runner at first, and here comes a 1-0 pitch.
It was a better pitch than that one.
LaRoche didn't like that call.
You can't make up in this game. Try, one pitch you miss, and then you try to make it up on the next. That throws everyone out of whack. Nobody knows what the strike zone is.
1-1 pitch. Here it comes from Carpenter. This is driven out to deep right center field. Wynn is back near the wall, looks up, and it's gone. Home run, Adam LaRoche.
Carpenter's been throwing a few more changeups, and Randy lost his glove and went over the wall as he tried to go after that. Oh, we have a tie game here.
Take a look pitch by pitch presented by Chevrolet.
Pretty good pitch there. It doesn't go his way. A fastball, makeup call, and then a changeup, but he left it up out over the plate. And you see Randy trying to go over. His glove falls into the Cardinal bullpen. Obviously will be retrieved. Now LaRoche had a 2-home run game earlier this year in Arizona against the Cardinals.
So RBIs 52 and 53. He jumps ahead of Pujols in the RBI department. So he got the first 2. Then the walk to Young. 2-run homer by LaRoche.
12th home run that Carpenter has allowed. Only 7 all last year, but he had really cut down that home run pace recently.
And the 12th home run for LaRoche this year. And a base hit. When you have a small strike zone, Al, as you well know, you've got to go closer and closer to the middle of the plate. And at times, it's not just with Carpenter, it's with anybody. You'll leave a pitch over the middle of the plate, and these guys at this level will hammer it. And we've seen a very, tight strike zone tonight.
Everything that works against the pitcher today. The ball's harder. Guys are bigger, stronger. Bat, the wood is as good as it's ever been. Then they've brought into the maple bats. Foul territory is taken away. Shorter fences. It was a changeup, so it's not one of his best pitches. And you can see left-handed batters, low ball hitters, and a little too much of the plate.
LaRoche measured at 395 feet with that home run. 2 outs and a runner at first, and an 0-1 pitch. Parra has seen breaking ball after breaking ball so far tonight.
0-2 pitch. Curveball.
We'll do it again at 0-2. Parra has walked and also tapped back to the mound, and Chris Carpenter.
Didn't want the cutter, back to the curveball.
Got him. Strikeout of Parra. And that's 4 tonight for Carpenter. 2-run homer by LaRoche has tied it up. Pitch. Herron, Lincecum, or Jimenez. And Ubaldo Jimenez at 58%. The Colorado Rocky, the right-hander, has thrown a no-hitter this year. The skyline around Busch. Nightfall just about here in the Gateway City.
Beautiful, beautiful day and night.
Here's Pujols. Diamondbacks have tied it up. 2-run homer by LaRoche. Albert Pujols has an RBI double tonight. He's also lined out to center. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Temperature the rest of the series is going to be what, about 10, 12 degrees below normal.
80-degree temperatures.
Going to be in the low 80s.
2 strikes on Albert.
And he gave up 3 straight hits to start this ball game. First run scored on a wild pitch. Then Albert doubled in a run. Only 2 more base hits.
Pujols pops it up. LaRoche over near the Cardinal dugout and makes the play.
They hit just under 290, under 2. Yeah, it was 292, and he's 291 for the month of June with 6 home runs, 15 RBIs.
Holiday tonight is popped out and also hit a screamer to third. He's 0 for 2.
doesn't like the strike call. He's so big and strong. He hits so many ground balls that just powers them through the infield.
Trying to go inside, and we've seen him make a better adjustment on those fastballs inside, the ones that tail in on his hands.
He had a good cut on that one on a very good pitcher's pitch. And he's made a little modification as he's getting that foot down a little bit quicker. And it helping him now to get into a hitting position, particularly on those pitches inside.
It just seemed like at times he was getting locked up on those inside pitches.
Sure.
Spoils that delivery.
Danny's a very tough pitcher. You go up there and he has that little hesitation, still throwing 93, 94 miles an hour. Then he's got that good splitter. He's got a curveball and he's got a cutter. So really, pitch recognition is tough. And there you go. Pitching is you're trying to leave nothing in the middle of the plate, or in this case, pitch up and away, but everything in, out. You're changing speeds, so it's just making it very difficult. You have to be ready for the fastball, but then you get that cutter right there, and a very good pitch, good location, tough pitch to hit. Remember, you got a lot of pitches coming in, so you're cognizant of that, and then he makes a little cutter down and away in a perfect location. It's hard to have plate coverage on both sides of the plate. His fourth strikeout of the night.
And here's Colby. And he's up there thinking, all right, everything's been inside, and then he gets that pitch. That first pitch right there was tailing away.
Yeah, looked like the splitter.
And Colby hits it to LaRoche. A diving stop. Herron covering it first. And the Cardinals are through in their half of the sixth inning. It's 2-2. Carpenter back to work. Top of the seventh in St. Louis. A pitcher's duel tonight, as we expected, with Chris Carpenter and Danny Herron. And Herron, who can handle the bat, is 0 for 2. He is struck out and also flied out to right. Herron with a high fly ball out to center. Colby looks up and it's gone. It carries out of here. Dan Herron, his first home run of the season, and the Diamondbacks lead it 3-2.
First home run of the season, second of his career, and now his 20th hit this season earned it to straightaway center. For Gibson like that shot. And then he drops that bat head and crushes his ball.
Wow. Initially off the bat, I didn't think it was going to carry out of here. Did you? And then I watched Colby.
And I knew it was.
Yeah.
To watch his body language as Colby really kind of turned, but knew that ball was covering well over his head.
408 feet. The home run by Danny Herron. Just saw a shot, by the way, of Edwin Jackson, who threw the no-hitter. 149 pitches against Tampa Bay the other night, and he will be skipped in the rotation here in St. Louis. Look at the pitch location of the home run.
Molina set up away, another ball that's just on that inner part of the plate.
And the pitch tracks brought to you by the Casino Queen. Curveball and a strikeout of Johnson. And Johnson is 1 for 4 on the night. Strikeout number 5 for Carpenter.
Good thing that home run didn't happen the previous time or two-time. His first time up, he had the bases loaded. And Danny Herron struck out. This time he struck Carpenter for the go-ahead home run.
And Carpenter working very quickly.
He's not happy with himself, but he's very good at using that as motivation. He'll take a minute right now or a second, get back under control.
And that's taken high for a ball. So 4th walk issued by Carpenter, and since 1900, what an amazing run he has been on. This is a 2-year span. Carpenter 26-5, and then you think about Al, going into last season, you weren't even sure if he was going to be healthy enough to even pitch. Would he be in the bullpen? Would he be a starter? Well, he answered all those questions as he's gone 26-5 since then.
And remember, he also missed multiple weeks on the disabled list with that oblique muscle strain. And what would his record have been if he would have just made another 5 or 6 starts?
1 out and a runner at first. This is Justin Upton. No balls and 2 strikes. He's hit a man tonight. He's walked 4. He's struck out 5. And Arizona now with 6 base hits.
You don't ever see Carpenter walk 4 in a game. So, and many times he's been trying to go away from a right-handed batter and left the ball in the middle part in. There's a good breaking ball, good curve ball. Upton came in when he was swinging one of the hotter bats for the Diamondbacks.
2-2. At times, his breaking ball tonight by Carpenter has been inconsistent. When it's right, it's still very, very sharp.
And there are times when you don't mind when it's down and away, because you're trying to get guys to chase, swing over the top.
Back to Carpenter. Out at second, on to first, double play. Chris Carpenter due up third when we come back. winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run, Scott Randall qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. Carpenter is due up third for the Cardinals, and there's activity in the bullpen as Trevor Miller is throwing. Scott rolling with career home run at number 300 tonight. And ironically enough, he does it against the team that drafted him, the Philadelphia Phillies.
And Cardinals need to win here to stay a half game back behind the Reds as they defeat Philadelphia 7-3.
That misses outside between innings. Chris Carpenter and Tony La Russa. You would have to believe that that's conversation about being lifted from this game.
Yeah, and you know, Carpenter usually will tell you that, you know, I just go out there and pitch. Manager decides to take me out, I just accept it. But he's a little bit hot today. As he's hopeful that Tony will change his mind after a Molina and Brendan Ryan home run. You know, Brendan get a 2-run home run.
So a leadoff
not happy.
Line on Carpenter, 109 pitches. That's coming off of 8 innings in his last start. 7 innings tonight, 6 hits, 3 runs. They all were earned. A couple of home runs he allowed. Well, if you're sacrificing here, it has to be a good secondary lead by Molina. They'll hold it first. Third baseman is in, even with the bag. Outfield straightaway and shallow. And that's ball 1.
You know, Yachty is tied for second most steals on the ball club. But, you know, in this case, you know, he's got to try and get that good secondary lead. He's himself vulnerable for a possible pickoff attempt. And it takes a real good bunt to get him down there.
Was the first walk issued by Danny Herron.
He was going on the pitch as they had the run and hit on, and you can try that once in a while, but Danny Herron is a strikeout pitcher. Brendan Ryan did get his first hit in quite a while last time up.
Just saw Miles. He is on deck. And that's a strike. Ryan didn't like that. Strike 2.
You see both corners are coming charging. And they know that Molina's running speed. They got a chance to get that lead runner. Second baseman is covering second.
Low, 2-2. And a broken bat, slowly hit. Can they turn 2? They show off the arm out there at short with Abreu. And it's a double play. 4-6-3.
Molina really can't help anything here. The broken bat, gets down there as quick as he can, tried to take out the middle infielder, but ground ball right here, and they turn 2, exactly what defensively they were trying to do, get him off the little hook after the leadoff walk, and Miles will hit for Carpenter.
And a strike to Aaron Miles. So Brendan Ryan, who did have a single, couldn't get the bunt down and then hits into a double play. Miles with the third baseman playing in. Easy play for Reynolds, and the Cardinals threat is through here in the 7th. Diamondbacks lead at 3-2. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. It's our Chevy call to the bullpen, and the lefty Trevor Miller is into the ball game in relief of Chris Carpenter.
Trevor earned his 8th hole on Saturday at Kansas City, and he's unscored upon his last 7 games. He covers 4 innings, as he's done a real nice job again this year. And Carpenter did throw 109 pitches, so you would think he was going to be coming out of this game no matter what, even if they would have gotten even, or maybe even gotten the lead for him, as Danny Herron is below that pitch total. Those 4 walks and the 1 hit batter helped get that pitch count up for Carpenter.
8th inning, and here's Montero. Had a couple of base hits against Carpenter. First pitch, that's a fair ball. Pujols takes it himself, 1 away. They consulted with Major League Baseball and the Players Union, and also the agent for Carlos Zambrano. Cubs announced today that there's a collective agreement between all parties. Zambrano will be removed from the suspended list and placed on the restricted list. He will not return until after the All-Star break, if at all. That will be the earliest, will be after the All-Star break. Had been suspended without pay since Friday, and that 3-day suspension cost him about $180,000.
See, that's where Players Association got involved, because putting on that restricted list is without pay, and that gets their attention. But we'll still have to wait and see.
2-0 on Chris Young.
So he will be paid now, but not join the club.
Correct. And apparently Jim Henry did speak to Zambrano, who was remorseful. He understands that he will at some point have to apologize to his teammates and to Lou Piniella.
Jason Mott in the Cardinal bullpen. There's another left-hander, LaRoche, after Chris Young.
This is well hit out to left. And on the track, making the catch, Matt Holliday, route number 2.
Probably giving a lot more confidence to Miller. When we first saw him at the beginning of last season, many times whenever a right-hander came up, he was taken out of the game. But he has pitched so well for the Cardinals that now they don't have to go immediately to a right-hander. And in this case, it works out well because there is another lefty.
And LaRoche, big blast that tied it up. A 2-run homer off of Carpenter back in the 6th inning. And once again, Carpenter has pitched well enough not only to keep his team in the game, but to win the game.
Dan, it's one of those situations where the Cardinals get 2 runs in the first 3 batters and then have not been able to add on. Now, Danny Herron is a very good pitcher. He is part of that equation. But you cannot waste these fine pitching outings from when it's Carpenter, Wainwright, and prior to yesterday it was Jaime Garcia.
2-1. Most since June 11th, and LaRoche just 2 back of David Wright. That's in the major leagues. Mention how he gets off to slow starts. We saw that with Atlanta. We saw it with Pittsburgh when he was there.
This year wasn't quite as bad or dramatic as he was treading water with Arizona.
And a walk to LaRoche. Brings in Reynolds, and that'll be it.
Yeah, there is a lefty after Reynolds, but he's too much of a home run hitter, so they're going to go to the bullpen and bring in Mott. And 2 outs and a runner at first base. But Chevy called the bullpen. Jason Mott will come in here. There are 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Cardinals trail 3-2. We'll be back after this. Broke a 2-2 tie with Carpenter and the Cardinals. Jason Mott relieves Miller. There's 2 outs, and Jason appears for the 33rd time. He induced an inning-ending double play for his 5th hole on Saturday, and then left the game with cramp in his right, or a cramp in his right leg, or right calf. He immediately eased up on him, but he was already out of that game, as Tony being precautionary. And he'll inherit a very tough hitter in Reynolds.
Big crowd tonight, 41,578. Not bad for a Monday night, huh?
Not bad at all.
41578.
Cardinals averaging just under 40,000 per game, but
this is hit out to right. Wind back off his glove, over the wall and into the bullpen. It's a home run for Mark Reynolds. And it's that kind of night now for the Cardinals.
Mention Randy Wynn playing his 250th consecutive airless game, and he gets an assist here of flipping it over the wall for a home run. That ball would not have gone out on its own. He's the one that knocked it in the air, and he was about halfway on that warning track. So I'm sure Randy feels horrible, as now it's a 3-run lead for the Diamondbacks.
3 home runs hit by Arizona. After the Cardinals jumped out to a 2-0 lead, LaRoche tied it up. That made it 2-2. And then Dan Herron, who's on deck, the pitcher, homered against Carpenter. And now you have a home run that could have been the 3rd out in the inning. This is slicing to the gap, and that'll get down to the wall. And Parra will stop at second base with a 2-out double. Really, the Cardinals haven't done anything with the exception of the first inning. The first 3 reached. Remember, they had a single, then the double by Pujols. And since then, they had back-to-back singles in the 4th. And that has been all the hits tonight.
Danny Herron has not helped him either. He's only walked 1, and he was erased in. Yachty was erased in a double play, so it's been the Danny Herron show. He had a shot in the first inning. They got 2 runs. One of those was a bit cheap when he scored on the wild pitch, but Pujols would have driven in that run with his RBI double. That's it.
And a fastball at the knees. Big Cardinal fan Avery Bozada is watching tonight. Avery turning 52. Oh, pitch. I'm sure Avery wasn't happy to see this on his birthday. Our Hardy's prime cut off the bat of Danny Herron. It just carried out of here over 400 feet. And the home run. That made it 3-2.
Fastball, and Molina was set up outside. It was down and in. Just dropped that bat head, but he hit it to center field, and now the ball gets away from Molina.
Tom McClellan talking the other day about Mott and having to learn to pitch and then doing that at this level, trying to learn at the big league level, and how hard that has been on him. And he's done a very good job, no doubt.
Scored his wild pitch, but Kyle Box looking on, and
little chopper hit to second. Diamondbacks add to their lead. 2-run homer. 5-2. Kind of a good time. Here we go. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America.
This was last night during the rainstorm as the wind really kicked up. Ball club had trouble getting back into St. Louis. Look at the wind. Just wave after wave of rain and 50-plus-mile-an-hour winds.
Cardinals trying to solve Danny Herron. He allowed 3 base hits to start the game. Since then, the Cardinals have gone 2 for 22. We've seen some odd baseball tonight. Remember this: Sean Dunston, Barry Bonds, thank you.
And look at all the ma's at that night, and can't say that tonight, because I'm sure Randy Wynn is shocked as he contributed to that home run.
But how about that? Just 2 for 22 with a walk since the first 3 hitters against Dan Aaron.
We've said it with Carpenter and Wainwright that, you know, you might get to them early, but once they get in the groove, they're going to shut you down. And with his pitch count, you know, you don't have to necessarily go to that bullpen.
Win up the middle, base hit.
That's the Cardinals' hope, is knock out Herron and get into that bullpen. Danny Herron can hit, but he can't get his gate safe. Trying to get that leg up and flip it into his hand, but goes through for Randy's base hit. He continues his 300 hitting wearing the Cardinal uniform.
And unfortunately for Randy Wynn, clearly that ball would not have left the ballpark.
Right. Nobody feels worse.
Yeah.
It's one of those freakish things that going into ruts, then little things like that happen that, you know, you go, well, this isn't right.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Skip Schumacher. Off the glove of LaRoche and into right field. Wynn makes the turn around second. First and third, nobody out.
And that's how you respond. By LaRoche knocking that ball down, trickling into right field, that allowed Wynn easily to go from first to third. LaRoche, very good defensive first baseman, and that ball just scorched and goes off his glove, but he slows it down, so Wynn takes a peek. He knows he can get over there before Upton can pick it up.
Lopez represents the tying run.
And you're getting right now, you get barring the, well, you're going to get Felipe barring a triple play. You're going to get Albert coming up here with hopefully men on base.
Third baseman is off the line, even with the bag. They'll hold it first. That's only pitch number 92 from Dan Herron. They began to stretch out there in the bullpen. Now somebody will get up, grab their glove, and start to throw.
Qualls has been removed as their closer. Last time we were out there, all we were talking about is get into their bullpen.
Two-0. Herron thought he had strike one.
They were bragging about the fact that they got 3 shutout innings out of their bullpen yesterday.
Two and one. Lopez is singled, lined out, grounded out. On deck, Pujols, who has an RBI double. Base hit into right. The run will score, cuts the lead to 5-3. And in steps Albert. Lopez, a 2-hit night. And that is RBI number 18 to go along with a run scored.
Juan Gutierrez just got up in their bullpen. Their pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre, will come out and talk to Herron, give the relief corps a chance to warm up. See, Gutierrez had one of those 3 scoreless innings yesterday's game for the Diamondbacks.
Pujols with an RBI double, line out, and a pop out. He could give the Cardinals a lead with one swing of the bat. some of this big crowd is on their feet.
See, now Danny's falling behind on first pitches for the Cardinal hitters.
The pitch is seen today by Pujols. Adds up to 15. He homered yesterday at Kauffman Stadium, his 16th of the year.
Represents the potential go-ahead run. A great shot. Albert. Holiday following him, so Danny Herron's got his work cut out for him here in the 8th inning.
2-2. This is what makes it such a great game. You got a guy like Dan Herron, one of the best, facing one of the best hitters in baseball.
They would rather have tired Danny Herron facing arguably the best hitter in baseball than go to their bullpen. Good pitch. Fouls it off. That's something you rarely see Albert do, is even foul a pitch off his foot.
Very rare. You're right.
His hands are so quick, and then when he lets the ball come in there deep, but you don't see him foul many pitches off his leg.
Two-two pitch. Pujols called out on strikes. He froze him.
Good pitch. Outstanding breaking ball, 101 pitch, and look at this. Trying to argue the pitch is inside, but it's a good pitch. And give Danny Herron some credit. In this situation, you don't often see Albert take a pitch.
Here's Holiday, who is struck out, grounded out, popped out. Looks at ball one.
Just getting Albert out really bolsters his confidence, but Holiday can change that.
It's a cutter he's been throwing, and Matt Holliday's seen a bunch of those tonight.
Remember, you know, a couple of those earlier at bats, pitching him inside. You get a hitter conscious of that pitch, then you throw that cutter that looks like a fastball, and then last second it breaks just ever so slightly away, and because of the pitches inside, you don't have the plate coverage away.
1-2.
There's kind of a, whether it's a splitter or what, it just kind of hung up there, and Holiday does not like the call.
Holiday, a swing and a miss. So Dan Herron has struck out Pujols and Holiday back to back. And now 2 outs for Colby Rasmus.
Not away from him, and it just looks like he's tardy. Comes up empty.
Colby tonight has struck out twice, and he's also grounded out. 0 for 3.
A nice play by LaRoche, the first baseman, to retirement.
Rasmus in the air out to center, and Herron shuts the door. We are through 8, and it's 5-3 Arizona.
coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Cardinals Live. Pat Paris and Rick Horton standing by. Herron's hot hitting against the Cardinals. They'll look at that. Loesch and Penny updates, plus Tony La Russa's post-game thoughts. It's all coming up after the game. Now we head back to the booth. Dan and Al. And Al, the Cards certainly had their chances there in the 8th against Danny Herron.
No doubt about it. The time runs on base. You got Pujols, and look at good breaking ball, frees him. Then he throws a fastball right by him. Then you got Kobe. Another pitch he can hit it to center field, but pops it up. And Danny Herron, we'll see if his night is through. There's activity in their bullpen. And they've had trouble with their bullpen where you'd like to think Danny's trying to lobby, but looks like Gucci. Oh, that's Rosa. Carlos Rosa.
Well, the ball that went off of Randy Wynn's glove into the bullpen could be the difference tonight. 2-run homer, and it's 5-3 Arizona as we play here in the top of the 9th. This is Kelly Johnson, the top of their lineup, then Abreu and Upton. Looked it into center. Rasmus there to make the catch. One away. Tony Abreu, the switch hitter, the shortstop of Arizona, will be the hitter. Lined out a couple of times, grounded into a double play as well.
First lineup we saw today had Stephen Drew playing shortstop, and then it was changed well before the game.
Cincinnati has won their ball game 7-3. And that's strike 2. 0-2 the count.
Rosa, who's warming up, who we assume would come in to pitch the 9th, with no left-handed bats on the bench. It works in his favor.
Mott strikes him out.
Left-handed batters are hitting 450 off of Rosa. Right-handers only 200.
Right fielder Justin Upton with 2 outs. Struck out in the first. Hit by a pitch in the third. He's grounded out his 2 other plate appearances. And Mott pumping strikes here in the 9th inning.
Dan, we were watching the ball, the flight of the ball, and the home run off the glove of Randy Wynn. So I didn't see the reaction from Mott, but I'm sure he handled it very professionally.
Well, you'd hope so.
Yeah, I mean,
just one of those odd plays. Randy Wynn going back. Line drive off the bat of Reynolds and off his glove. And it looked like it would not have been a home run. It would have hit probably about midway up the wall, if not a little bit higher, on the outside corner. And with him going back, his momentum took him that way, and it knocked it over the wall.
See Mott handling it well as he's animated going through this inning.
1-2 pitch.
Just off the plate.
It's been fastball after fastball in this really nice run that Mott has had.
Shown enough earlier that clubs know, fan scouts have told the opposing hitters that, okay, he has a breaking ball. So they keep on going up there saying, okay, I'm going to see the breaking ball, and he never throws it. But he's established it in their mind that he has one. right now, to be honest with you. I'm throwing from 95 to 98 miles an hour. I'd rather see that than a hanging breaking ball.
You know, the other thing, too, he's done very well is he's been able to spot it. And
well, that's helps.
You know, we talked about before, looking at the pitch selection that Holiday saw that won at bat. There was nothing over the middle of the plate, and for the most part, that's what we've seen from Jason Mott. A 3-2. Tough chance here. The speed of Upton. Sometimes Pujols tries to sell that by coming off the bag, and I'm not sure if he was even on the bag when he caught that. Those close plays, he's trying to sell it.
Tony out to talk to our first base umpire, Larry Vanover. Looks like he's out. What did we watch? What do you think? You thought he's safe?
Awfully close. Tie goes to the runner. I'll give it to the runner.
There's no ties.
That's what you say.
One umpire has to make a decision, so he can't say tie.
He says tie, and then the tie goes to the runner.
But he won't tell you it was a tie.
He will never tell you that.
Oh, no. He beat it out.
So 2 outs and a runner at first. 2-run lead. Mott throws out that baseball, and Miguel Montero will be the hitter. 2 for 4 with a pair of singles. His first 2 times up against Chris Carpenter. Redbirds will have Molina, Ryan, and then Mott's spot due up in the bottom of the ninth. And time is called. And a beautiful night for baseball here at Busch Stadium, but the folks right now a little bit disappointed. To keep an eye on Upton. He showed you his speed, didn't he, Al, with that little tapper to third? He can get down the line.
Yes, he can. He has 11 steals in 15 attempts. Diamondbacks have 45 steals on the season. They have run a little bit more lately. And Upton would be one of the guys, but
there's a 1-0 pitch inside, and Molina lost the handle as he was going to try to pick off Upton at first.
But he dove back head first, so he did not see that the ball slipped away from Molina. He went to throw and then see the ball get there, but he's going in head first.
Two 2-0 the count.
Reyes starts throwing in the Cardinal pen. Two outs. Get the hitter.
2-1. Flew right by him at 96.
Well, that's one of the things too. He's been able to get hitters chase that ball up out of the strike zone. You throw in the upper 90s, that's a very hard pitch to center. And if they do make contact, many times they'll pop it up. They're throwing a lot of pitches down too, where it changes the eye angle. They'll chase that pitch up.
3-1.
Fierce competitor, Kirk Gibson.
Sure you appreciate that look.
Oh, most definitely. And like a little dye in that mustache. Of course, you wouldn't know because his head is bald. So you don't know what his natural hair color would be.
I'm going to let that one stand alone by itself, and Mr. Gibson will be watching the replay. He'll know it was Al Raboski.
The camera's even scared of him. It's shaking.
3-2 the count. And a walk. So 2 on. Montero on base for the third time. Jason Mott pitches thrown the last 7 days. Remember, it was only 2 on Saturday. Al told you about his little cramping issue that he had. That wasn't a big deal. But a bunch of pitches tonight, close to 30. Chris Young will be the hitter.
At 28 right now. Roche on deck, so that's why Denny's Reyes is warming up. There are 2 men on, but you get this hitter, they can't score. I'm sure there's people on that Cardinal bench saying that was a strike to some of the Cardinal hitters. Holiday's one of them saying that.
No doubt. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Young. Popped it up, but behind home plate and just below us. One ball, one strike. Two and one. Young tonight bounced into a fielder's choice. He has struck out, walked, and then came around to score in the 6th. And a line out his last time up. Time called. Molina wants to visit.
Just said, hey, relax. Try and overthrow the ball.
Two-one pitch. 2-2. I don't think Young liked that call either. He was shaking his head just a moment ago.
Danny Aaron's acting like he's going to at least go back out there.
2-2 pitch. Popped up.
Sometimes when you get this late in the ball game, you're the starting pitcher and you're hoping to stay in it. And you have this long extended inning. You worry about stiffening up, or so see him trying to do whatever he can to be involved and get his body geared up to get back out there.
Herron is at 106. You know, Edwin Jackson threw 149 the other day.
Well, that was the no-hitter, but when you have problems with your bullpen, you're a little reluctant. And if you leave it up to Danny Herron, he's going to say, I want to stay out there. I've got confidence in my bullpen, but I'd like to finish it.
Two. And Young hits it out to shallow left. Brendan's got it. Sends us to the bottom of the 9th. 5-3 Arizona. 8 innings so far. He's given up 8 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 1. He has struck out 6. Aaron has done it on the mound and at the plate. That home run made it 3-2 Arizona. They added 2 more. And now it's a 5-3 lead. Yadier Molina leads it off.
And retired the bottom of the order being Molina, Ryan, and pinch hitter. Molina did have a hit and a walk tonight, and Brendan Ryan has a hit.
21 of 32 first pitch strikes. He could add to it now.
Here right now, Tony gets thrown out of this game as Mark Carlson has hurt enough. Talking about that high pitch. And he had a very mild protest. And I'm sure there was a couple pitches that were not called, or called against Cardinal hitters and not called against Arizona hitters in Tony's mind.
Now Aaron will start to just play catch, stay loose.
And this is a good delaying tactic, as you say, from that standpoint. Tony's not thinking about that. He's upset with the strike zone, and it's not the first one he's upset. He's talking now with Jeff Kellogg, the third base umpire and crew chief, and Aaron is doing the right thing by staying sharp, getting some loose.
But argue balls and strikes, it's automatic. Rejection. He had hurt enough, and so strike 1 on Molina.
They practice that too, umpires.
Now Molina calls time. They're doing anything to try to disrupt Danny Aaron here. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Molina base hit to left. Two-hit night for Yadi. Brings in Brendan Ryan. Nick Stavanoa will move to the on-deck circle. Now, what'd you think about pinch running here for Molina?
Well, you sure could, because Stavanoa is going to hit. He's your emergency catcher, so he could bring in somebody to. He may use that option as Molina gets down the line, gets into scoring position. It is only a 2-run game.
Brendan Ryan is swinging a miss. Remember before, earlier in this game, he could not get a sacrifice down, but Cardinals are down by 2 runs in this situation.
Couldn't get it down, and then he grounded into a double play. Molina had walked ahead of him.
0-1 pitch.
Adelman, who's now their closer, is warming up behind Aaron. Pitch count up to 110.
One and 2. Brendan does have a base hit in the 4th. That was a single. Aaron trying to finish off the Cardinals in game 1 and make a statement here with a complete game.
Trying to get back into it. A lot have stuck around.
Base hit, Brendan Ryan. Well, now you may see the Cardinals pinch run for Molina.
They call back Stavanoa, and Wainwright will come up to sacrifice, but there'll be a pitching change. Wainwright goes back to try and get decoy strategy. And A.J. Hinch is going to talk to Danny Herron, and now it looks like they've made the call to the bullpen.
Well, great work by Danny Herron tonight. Unfinished business, though, here in the 9th inning. Pitch, by the way, just went back to the backstop. ERA at 3.55. And opponents are hitting .254.
And he secured his second save yesterday, tossing a scoreless ninth. On the road, he is 0-1 with both his saves. And opponents have hit .311 against him.
Rally caps are out. Well, the season series has been split and just about even. Diamondbacks with 59 strikeouts to the Cardinals 47.
Wainwright to come in here, which you would assume would be a sacrifice situation. Play for the tie at home, win on the road. So again, going to try and move both men into scoring position.
Runners at first and second, nobody out, 2-run lead. Barehanded, throw to third, they threw it away. Run will score. Ryan to third. Wainwright winds up at second as Garcia scores to make it 5-4. Almost turned out to be a fantastic play by Howman, but he threw it away.
Right, Dan, he just got it in plenty of time to get the lead runner. And when he threw the ball, he barehanded it, had his momentum going that way, but then throws a great sinker. And you see Garcia running, and he throws it away. He had plenty of time to get the force out there. So the Cardinals, best thing could happen. Look at shades of 06 World Series. Looked like a Detroit pitcher. And Garcia gets up. Wainwright goes all the way to second, so now they got it's a one-run game with the tying run and winning runs in scoring position.
And Randy Wynn rounds to short. Would have been justice for him to get the game-winning hit. Instead, Ryan has to stay put.
the Cardinals really playing with a very thin bench when you think about the fact that you don't know about the availability of Freese and Ludwig. Both of them ailing, so you would think they, maybe they can't run. Defensively, they got the infield back in for Schumacher, who is 2 for 4. And lately, you start thinking about last year when he led the ball club in 3-hit games.
Base hit could possibly win it. Infield in. First pitch taken for a ball inside. With runners in scoring position this year, Skip is hitting .294 with a pair of homers. He's driven in 18.
He's .262 now. As that batting average has climbed quite a bit here in the month of June.
It's a big gap in right center. Pujols can only watch, and now time is called by the catcher Montero.
Take a balk, wouldn't it?
Sure. Tied up at 5. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. 50% of the time, Skip has brought him in.
I'm sure he's been more successful late than early in the season.
1-0 is hit out of play. Brendan Ryan is getting very far down that third base line. He's about a third of the way down.
And we'll see what Reynolds does, as he's been so far off the third base line that Brendan could come a third of the way down. Reynolds has not tried to jockey or chase him back. Montero goes out to talk to Huddleman.
A crazy game in many ways.
You see how far off the line he is. So
1-1 pitch to Schumacher. Hits it to LaRoche, who bobbles, comes to the plate. They throw it away. Here comes Wainwright. The Cardinals will win it. Arizona throws it around here in the ninth, and they throw away a win. The Cardinals come back to win it.
It would appear to be a sure defeat and turn it into a victory. As you said, they just couldn't field their position, and more appropriate, they couldn't throw anybody out.
LaRoche may have bobbled it, and in doing so, he threw it away. They couldn't handle it at the plate. That was the tying run, and Wainwright sliding in for the winning run.
Not the most well-played game, but for the Cardinals, there you see the bobble, then another sinker. It bounces well in front of the plate. That is a very good defensive first baseman. Wainwright, no hesitation, comes across home plate, sliding with the winning run. So there's the tying run, scores on the air, and then Wainwright follows suit with the winning run, and then the celebration comes about.
As I mentioned, a crazy game in many ways. It finishes that way. The Cardinals 2-31 this season with trailing after 8. Post-game show coming up.